For the last 2 years, President Trump has sounded off against the Paris Climate Agreement, talking about how he wants to pull the U.S. out of the deal. But today marked the first time that he could actually do it. And we have learned tonight that the Trump administration has now notified the UN it has begun the process of withdrawing. Jennifer Bellamy explains what prevented the action prior and what this could mean going forward.
Well, the deal blocked anyone from pulling out for the first 3 years. That's why today marks the first chance for the Trump administration to begin the process.
A promise to do better. In the Paris Climate Agreement, nearly 200 countries set their own national goals for reducing or controlling pollution of heat-trapping gases and combating climate change. The deal was negotiated back in 2015 and went into effect November 4th, 2016, with some serious prodding from the United States and China, the two biggest emissions offenders. But now the U.S. is backing out. Withdrawals weren't allowed for the first 3 years of the deal, but now the process can begin. President Trump, who's been calling for the U.S. withdrawal since 2017, only needed a letter to the United Nations to formalize a U.S. exit from the pact. But it won't become official for a year, which likely means the day after the 2020 election at the earliest. If someone other than President Trump wins the election, the next president would likely be able to get back into the deal in just a matter of 30 days. Opponents of the plan to pull out warn the move could hurt worldwide efforts to fight global warming, especially since the U.S. is the second worst offender when it comes to CO2 or fossil fuel burning cement production emissions, falling behind China and ahead of India and Russia, according to the Global Carbon Atlas. According to NASA, carbon dioxide levels are at their highest in 650,000 years, and 18 of the 19 warmest years on record have happened since 2001. President Trump has called the deal a massive wealth transfer from America to other nations, calling it one-sided. Climate experts, though, push back, saying that's not accurate. They say the agreement is voluntary and doesn't obligate any country to make financial payments. The agreement does call for member nations to come up with ambitious goals every 5 years to cut pollution and fight climate change.
And projections from the Energy Information Administration show the U.S. wasn't on track to meet its Paris Agreement pledge anyway. And once again, the Trump administration has launched the withdrawal process starting today.
All right, Jennifer, thank you.